a Pete Primeau fan.
Thank you for having me.
Your fans are like...
What an honor to be here, Pete. You're a legend. You're a rock star.
I'm a legend in my own mind, said my wife.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I'm Mr. Selling from the Heart. What's this guy, Larry Levine, going to teach me about selling from the heart?
You are one of the most generous and authentic people around. And I think that's why you and your show are so attractive to people.
Welcome to the Pete Primeau Show. It is episode 293, and we are going to be talking about the missing link in your customer's journey with Raven Willow Riley, founder and CEO of Signifex. But before we do that, let's pay the bills really quickly. If you haven't read my book, Sell a Million, what are you waiting for? Now is the time for more traffic, for more profit building ideas. This is a business book. It is not a sales book. If you want a sales book, I've got one. As a matter of fact, this sales book is mine and 11 of my friends. Great authors in this book. Brandy Thompson, Steve Carnes, Keith Cassinguy, Justin Trumbo, Mel Opp, Jonathan DiPrenzio, Mark Klingenberg. There's no Mel. Brent Batterman, Scott Vaughn, Chris Tahaney, and the incredible Jeff Janakovo. Guys, if you do sales meetings on a weekly basis, this book for less than $20 is 3 years worth of sales meetings. 3 years worth of sales meetings. So all you got to do is turn the page and let it rip. And I'm going to tell you something, whether you have a crew of brand new salespeople or you have a crew of veterans, after they read the first chapter, they're going to sell more mattresses automatically. It's that powerful, and it's not because it's mine. It's because it's ours. And without the 11 other people, this book would be a shadow of what it is. So guys, gals, if you believe in sales training, you believe in helping your salespeople become the best they can be, grab that book. It's on Amazon. There's a link. Just go to my website and the link's right there, or just put in Pete Primeau, miles and miles of retail selling greatness, and away you go. I'd love to thank Steve and Greg, sponsors of the show, a Mattress Industry Network group. Over 3,300 people in this group. If you want to learn how to build, market, sell, and succeed in the mattress industry, join this group. It's 100% free, and you don't need to be alone. Everybody's in here. We have, you name it. We have other store owners, whether they be mattress stores or furniture stores who are serious about the mattress business. We have owners of manufacturers. We have VPs of sales. We have sales pros. We have sales reps like I am. So everybody's in here. Join the group and say hi to me. I try to get in that group a couple times a week, and it's a great group. Great group. Chris, are you gonna wait for me? See, usually Chris, he keeps me moving. My dear friend Chris Tahaney's writing a great book. It's called Mattress RSA Stories. And that's exactly the email that you're going to send your story to about your customer who had a great result from the sales system that you helped her find. So mattress RSA stories at gmail.com. We want to hear about your success stories. We want to hear about how your customer improved their life by doing business with you. This is something that's going to be industry facing and consumer facing. So bear that in mind as you write your story up. This is just a great project. It helps to elevate the industry. Scott Vaughn is fond of saying you're the most important um, health provider in your in your town, and I believe he's right. Without a good night's sleep, everything else falls apart. So, mattress sales pros and store owners, if you have a sales pro that's too shy, he or she's just not going to send it in their story, you do it for them. Help your people be in this book. This is a great book. Guys, get behind this and send your stories to Chris Dehaney at mattressrsastories@gmail.com. This is a group that I belong to. Mattress Retailer Toolkit. It's under $100 still. If you use the QR code that will be flashing up there in a second, you actually get an extra month free. This is for everybody in the industry. Whether you're a single store owner, a multi-store owner, if you are a furniture retailer, if you own sleep shops, if you're an industry influencer, if you're an industry leader, if you're a factory rep like me, join this group. It's a great group. Just tons and tons of training. I think there's 2 trainings every month, and there's lots and lots of ways to level up your game. If you have a sneaking suspicion that there's more to life than just buying yourself a job, this is the group for you. You will find independents in this group. You will find other store owners who are implementing strategies and techniques that are allowing them to have a great life and a great business that is different than other businesses. And so join Mattress Retailer Toolkit. Tell them I sent you. Hit that QR code for a free month, and I will see you guys inside the group, because I belong. I try to get in there as much as I can. It helps me stay on top of my game. So you should do it for the same exact reasons. Raven, welcome.
Hey, Dad, how are you?
Good. And so that takes care of the first announcement. This is my eldest daughter. And to say that I'm a little bit proud of her would probably be the understatement of the year. The reason she's on the show is not because she's my daughter. It's because she's brilliant. And we're going to be talking about the missing link in your customer's journey. But before we get started, if you're live, your questions take precedence. So Chris will take the questions and give them to us as you type them in. So whether you're watching this on LinkedIn, Facebook, or you're watching it on some other device or YouTube, just make a comment, ask the question, and we will get the question answered for you. So Raven, there is a customer's journey, and not all customers' journeys are exactly the same, but there are a lot of similarities. And, you know, you're a next level marketer, and you have some insights that are going to dramatically help our store owners be able to enhance customers finding them and help them have a better customer experience. So what is the missing link in your customer's journey? And if that's not the right question to ask right now, just go back and start building it up, and then we'll just go back and forth and we'll get there.
Absolutely. So I think the first thing that all store owners need to know is that the customer journey is ever evolving, right? There's never one set journey that you send them on, because you have multiple types of ideal customers that you want to work with. right? So if you're looking to be a little higher end and a little higher priced, that's a completely different demographic than if you have a discount line or if you have an outlet side to the side of your business. So you want to look at what is the customer journey according to the people that you really want to work with. Who do you want to buy your stuff? And so that's the first spot that we really have to look at.
Can I jump in?
Always.
So, guys, like when it's family, you're going to get a lot of this with us. You should hear our conversations. Actually, if we just taped our conversations and published them, we could probably get 100,000 for those, because it would actually make you millions. But that's besides the point. This is 100% free. I just want to say something. Please, 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 wherever you are, I don't care what state you're in. I don't care if you're a furniture store. I don't care if you're a mattress store. I don't even care if you're not in the industry and you have a store. Please don't say this. Everybody's my customer. No, they're not. And I'm going to give you guys something that is gold. If you don't listen to another thing that's said today, this is worth the price of admission. If I charged you a few $100s, by the way, if you don't know who your customer is, you need to find out, number one. And I'm going to tell you the easiest way to find out. You go back and you call the last 10 customers you got. And if you don't feel like you have a handle on it, call the last 20. Ask them, why did you buy from me? How did you hear about us? Tell me a little bit about why you chose us, and write all that stuff down. And sooner or later, a pattern is going to emerge and you're going to say, okay, this is my customer. Not everyone's your customer. And let me tell you, it's a good thing. You know why? Because it would break you. If you're trying to advertise to everybody in today's world, you will go broke before you figure out who your customer is. So ask the last 10 customers. If that's not a good enough sample, ask the last 20. I'm sorry. I'm going to shut up and let you talk now.
You're good, Dad. So I just want to reiterate that that is 100% correct. And the reason why is because we get to be super targeted in how we speak to people now. And that wasn't the case 50 years ago. 50 years ago, we put an ad in the paper and everyone was reading the paper, but that's not the case today. And so we are looking at things much differently, especially since we don't have TV the way that we used to. Right? Most people are on streamers now, and there are very few commercials, and there are a lot of people who pay the higher subscriptions in order to have no commercials. So we're relying on different ways of communicating with our audience. So we have to know who they are. And let me be clear, you can sell to multiple ideal clients. You can't do it at the same time. So you have to have a primary that is your number one. That is who you go after. That is the most important thing. They are going to be the bulk of your business. So if you've ever heard of the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, 80% of your business is going to come from that 120% that you're targeting. And it's counterintuitive and it feels a little scary because you go, everyone needs furniture, right? Everyone needs a bed. Everyone needs a mattress. And that's true. But who can pay your prices? That's number one. And who is actively looking right now? The other thing is different ideal clients are going to notice different things and they're going to shop in different ways. They have different questions. So me at 40, I shop differently than someone at 20, who shops differently than someone at 60. And our questions are completely different. So the messaging that goes into your ideal client and those campaigns that you need to build are very different. And it may seem like it's subtle to you, but one word can make the difference in a campaign that lands and a campaign that doesn't. So you have to know who your primary ideal client is, where they're shopping. Are they in store or are they online? Those are very different ideal clients. And the people who shop online are not the same ideal client as those who shop in store most of the time. So you want to get very clear on who those people are, what it is that they have questions about, and what are the specific things that you need to include, the specific pieces of copy, the specific information bits that they need to know, because I promise you, they don't need to know every single thing about how the mattress is made, how the furniture is made. That's not really what they're asking. They want to know, am I going to wake up pain-free? Am I going to get a good night's sleep? Am I going to have to listen to my partner snoring and being annoying all night? Right? Do we have to get different rooms because one of us snores and one of us doesn't? These are the types of things that they're asking, which is a very different sales conversation than, the mattress has memory foam of this specific type plus coils, so you're supported. There are different things that they're asking.
Yeah, one of the biggest mistakes, I've been doing a lot of sales training, and it's been very rewarding for me at this point in my career. After 44 years, and I'm training top 100s almost every weekend, and the sales managers and store managers are coming up to me and just saying, Pete, thank you. That is the best training, because you didn't tell us just how to sell your mattresses. You taught us how to be better salespeople in general and better mattress salespeople, more specifically. And thank you for caring, and thank you for your passion. We don't get that from most reps. And that I knew that already, but it's really rewarding when you hear that. And I just wanna kind of pile on just a little bit. When you listen to some of the great marketers of all time, Dan Kennedy, who I'm a big Kennedy guy, you always hear this: market, media, message. If you don't pick your market, you're going to have the wrong message, and you're probably going to be in the wrong media. The media is influenced by the market. So who your who is going to determine if you're going after affluent customers. They may not be on Facebook. They might be on LinkedIn more than you think. And they're not probably going to be on Instagram. And here's something that you really need to clue in on, guys, gals. This may be one of the most important things I've ever said on my show. You might want to do postal routes, targeted direct mail with an affluent customer, because they all live together. And you can target with the United States Postal Service actual neighborhoods. So, guys, you got to figure out who your who is. And sorry to pile on. Hey, Nicholas Dover, that's ADH in Alabama. It was great chatting with you this morning, and thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Patrick Tinney, I've got something to say to you, Patrick. Number one, I love you, and I'm so pumped to have you on the show talking about your new book. But dude, is it out yet? Is it actually published? That's the question I'm asking you, because Patrick has been a dear friend of mine. He's written 4 great sales books, and now he wrote a book on writing books. And I can't wait, because my first draft of Miles and Miles I sent to Patrick, and that book would be completely different if I hadn't done that. Patrick has great advice, more stories, more engagement, and have a target in mind. And Patrick, you are one of a kind, my friend. Andrew Burt. Hey, Andrew, how are you? Raven is right, says Andrew Burt. Scoring your customers and your targets is so important today. Understanding who your end user is and how you create a path to let them know you are the right retailer for them is critical. Our industry is changing faster than ever. True. and it's becoming harder and harder to be everything to everyone. Luckily, data is on our side. When we use it the right way, we can better understand our customers, know who we should be targeting, and create a more relevant experience that keeps ... Chris, you gonna leave me hanging? Or is that all you could get?
That's probably all you could get. But
There's a lot of characters, wasn't it?
that was an awesome point. And I think it also brings up the fact that we're at this really cool era where we get to advertise differently. And so we can target better than ever before. So even though it's harder in a lot of aspects, because we can target with a lot more intention and with a lot more clarity, if we know who our people are, we're creating campaigns that are effective, that are impactful, and that drive revenue because we understand not just what their questions are and what they're looking for, but we understand their journey as a whole. And when we do that, we can create shorter buying cycles, which makes everybody happy. And we can create a more seamless experience for our people. And I think, Dad, you talk about this all the time. We love our people, the people that we serve, the people that we sell to. We're there to solve a problem. And when you're talking about furniture and mattresses, these are pieces that stay in someone's home, sometimes for generations. That's not a little purchase. That is not just the next best thing. So we have to know exactly how to talk to them. And now we get to actually target in very specific ways. So in the past, it used to be you have one ideal client and you hone in and everything is to them. Now you can actually have multiple ones, build out multiple customer journeys, multiple campaigns, and have effectiveness with all of them. And you just have to make sure that your messaging is on point.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrew. That was a great comment. And keep the comments coming and keep the questions coming. Patrick is 100% right. Patrick Tinney says furniture is also very much home fashion. Yeah, it makes a house a home, right? Right, Pat? It really does. Patrick also says, just waiting for cover creative and embedded fonts, and book will be released. That's awesome news. I cannot wait, Patrick. Please keep me in the loop, my friend. And God bless Canada and God bless Patrick Tinney. Love you. Thank you for being here, brother. What was I going to say? I was going to say something before I saw Patrick's comment. We got market, we got message, we got media. Listen, you have worked with a lot of different businesses over the years, Raven. Guys, like you're looking at her and you're going like she's 25, right? No, she's 40. She's 40 years old. So she's looks younger than she is. She's got a lot of experience. What are the mistakes that you see?
Oh my goodness, there are so many mistakes. And let me tell you, I love that business owners are making mistakes because it means that they're putting something out and they're not waiting for it to be perfect. But we're going to actually talk about what makes their campaign stronger, which is really exciting. So when I'm looking at mistakes, the very first thing is, well, I know my ideal client, I set it up 5 years ago. Well, we change, right? Because who was 45 years ago is not 40 today, and the way that we interact has changed because technology has grown so fast and in ways that we didn't expect. So because of that, what we're looking at is different ways that we're interacting than we were before. Even in a year from now, there are going to be new platforms that we're using that we're not using today. So we have to make sure that we keep up every single year with where the market's going. Now, the best way to do that is just to make sure that your target market research is always going. It's never done. It's not really a destination. It truly is a journey. And that is really important to know, because if you are working on 2016 data for 2026, you're leaving a ton of money on the table. And you're not only doing yourself and your employees a disservice, but you're also doing a disservice to your customers. So that's not what we want. We want to make sure that we are continuously surfacing those things. So ways to do that are to make sure that you have different emails going out after someone purchases, making sure that you're having those conversations, and your sales and your marketing people need to be talking to each other every single week. We need to know, as marketing people, what were the objections? Because if there were objections during the sale, that means there's content that needs to be created for marketing. Because when marketing is done right, when we get that content right, there are no questions left. We shorten the buying cycle. So we need to make sure that that's happening. The other thing is making sure that you're aware how people buy differently. So the way someone buys in store is not the same way someone buys online. And you have to make sure that both journeys are very clear. And I'll give you a quick example. My pre-husband and I, we were looking for furniture online, and we saw this store that was really interesting. And he was looking through the different living room furniture, and he looked at me and he said, "I don't know about this place." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Well, they're using outdated technology." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, they have an Xbox, like an Xbox One in the photos, and no one uses that anymore. Like, we don't play on an Xbox One, we play on a PS5. And I went, "Oh." So he subconsciously saw that and processed it as, this is not for me. This is for a different age demographic. This is from a different time. And even asked himself, is this legitimate? Because it was so outdated. So there are little subconscious cues that all of your marketing brings together that tells a customer if this is right or wrong for them. And those are things that are important to be aware of.
You know, what you said, I wanted the first thing that you said about shortening the buy-in cycle by eliminating objections. I my whole contrarian, persona came out and like, ugh, right? But then I
Yeah.
remembered something that Victor Antonio, who is just a fabulous sales trainer, I asked him, well, what kind of objections do you get, in your training thing? He goes, Pete, I put so much content out. I do so much marketing that everybody knows who I am. They know what I do. I don't really sell like my own self. I don't sell the way I used to sell because the marketing takes care of everything. And, so Victor Antonio is a world-class marketer. Anybody that, if you want to learn how to use video and learn how to use YouTube, just watch Victor Antonio. He is rarefied air. He is something special. Patrick Tinney. Raven, is the store still the brand? I'm gonna let her answer it, Patrick, but that is a great question. And recent developments in our industry, I cannot wait to get at this. But Raven, ladies first and guests first, and you're both, so you go ahead.
Thank you. So, Patrick, I'm so excited that you asked this because, just like my dad, I'm like, I want to answer. So the first thing is there are so many pieces to a brand now. It is not simply just, the store itself. And if you have multiple stores, it's not all of the locations. The brand is something much, much deeper than that. So the brand, I want you to think about the brand as the ecosystem, or to make it even simpler, it's the country that your whole brand lives in. Your store is like a city within that country or that state. right? And so it has a job, it probably has its own flag, it has its own taglines, it has all these things that make it unique within that ecosystem, but it plays a part in the larger whole. And so what we have is we have different store owners and different store founders that are playing more roles in the brand at the forefront. And we also have different versions within there. One of the furniture stores close to where I am, it has an outlet store that is branded completely differently than its main store. And so they function as different entities. You would not market them the same. And even the brand messaging is different because it's a brand within a brand within a brand. So what you're really looking for is that overhaul cohesion that everything comes back to, and then understanding how these different components break out. So what your store is and your online experiences, those are different brands. And likewise, if you have a high-end store versus a discount store, those are different brands within the umbrella. And even same thing online, because you can have a prestige online brand presence and a more discount online brand presence. But what you want to make sure is that each one understands who it is, who they serve, and what it is that they represent, right? And that means all the messaging is custom. It means the customer journeys are custom, and everything goes into that. So, Dad, I want to hear what you have to say. That's my 2 cents.
That's awesome. And it's so true. How you market a gallery store versus an outlet store, two different things. Yes, they are different brands within a brand. But Patrick, the way I took it was a different way. I took it as the really smart retailers have always known their brand, their store brand, their name in the community is more important than any name brand that they'll ever carry. Uh, you name a name brand, whether it's Simmons, whether it's Sealy, whether it's Temper. Now, with the monster that I cannot even begin to believe our government allowed this to happen, that Somni Group is now, is just unbelievable. TSI is owned by Somni Group. Now Somni Group owns Leggett and Platt. And I understand that was a survival thing. I get that. Still don't like it. They own Mattress Firm. How many stores does Mattress Firm have, Patrick? A bunch. They own part of Purple. They own part of Kingsdown. This is a monster. And it's not good for other retailers to be promoting those brands unless they are in really unique situations where there is no Mattress Firms in the market. If you're surrounded by Mattress Firms and you're supporting these brands, you need to have your head examined. That's my take. And by the way, I can hear Mark Quinn, my dear friend, who I love, saying, Pete, when you start making controversial statements, you need to let them know that that is your personal opinion. So that's my personal opinion. It is none of the lines that I represent's personal opinion. It's my personal opinion. And at 66, I have some opinions. and you know what? I've been waiting my whole life to get old so I could just let it rip. And so enjoy this while we have it. Somni Group is just it's a monster, Patrick, and it's not good. There are some situations where a retailer might benefit from these from doing business with some of these, but very rarely. I'm looking to do business with anybody but them, especially if I'm loaded up with Mattress Firms in my market. Because they're going to support their child, just like I'm supporting my child. So anyway, what say you? Any thoughts come to your head while I was going off on a tangent?
I think you're right on the money. I think really knowing who you are as a brand is absolutely vital. And a brand is never defined by what it is that they carry. It's defined by the problems that they solve and the worldview they have around solving them. So, I would be looking at things like, are you someone who keeps your word? That's vital. A brand has to be trustworthy. A brand has to be someone who cares about their community, whether that's online or in store. And those through lines have to go through the entire brand itself. So all of your content has to ring true to the same ideals. And you have to know what you're supporting and what you're not. Where are those lines, right? What are the lines in the sand that you draw? And that's how you really set yourself apart from, one, every other brand in the market, and two, your customer gets a really clear sense of, do they want to do business with you? Because, like we were talking about, we're talking about making a house a home. And whenever you're dealing with someone's home or something that they're going to buy for years and years and years that they really want to last, that is a meaningful thing that they're buying. And so it's a different emotional process than, does this look good? Right. And, is it comfy? Yeah, we care about those things, but we also care about who we buy them from. So I think that that's a vital part of your branding that a lot of, store owners and business owners tend to forget.
So you've heard of Simon Sinek?
Yes.
Start with why.
Yes.
So when I was with a company, they made that required reading.
Mm-hmm.
And I read it 5 times. And after the first time, I said, this is a problem, because the company that wanted me to read it was now owned by private equity. And I've always been a guy who wanted to work for family-owned businesses, always been that guy, and have always been attracted to those opportunities. And I was making $35,000 a month 20 years ago when I quit this company, and they couldn't believe it. And I said, well, it's your fault. I read this book, Start With Why, and I realized that your why and my why were no longer synced up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't love my customers the way I love my customers. You guys are about making money and only making money, and you don't care how the mattress performs anymore. So that's why I left. And no, I'm not kidding, because my manager laughed. He goes, that's the funniest joke I ever heard. And finally, by the time I got done with him, he was like crying. He's like, nobody leaves a job making $35,000 a month. I said, I just did. So here's the important part. This isn't supposed to be about me, but that's just a funny story about, if you haven't read Start With Why, stop what you're doing, go to Amazon, buy Start With Why by Simon Sinek. It's a great book. And I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to get it wrong, so feel free to correct me. Your customer cares about your why. They care about your why. Why are you doing this? They care about that. That is part of their decision-making process for choosing a retailer to buy a product from. So what's your why? Are you telling your customer what your why is? Are you?
100%. And I think that there's something.
Chris. Isn't he the best producer?
Oh, he is the
ever?
best. We love Chris. We're Chris fans.
Big Chris fans. And look at that. You can buy it for 53% off now because it's an old book. $9, under $10 for this book. Start With Why. It's a great book.
So good.
It's really a great book. So sorry for going off on a tangent. What else we got? Raven, this is Patrick Tinney again. Raven, keeping your word is living your brand. Oh, boom, mic drop. Wonder how the monster ecosystems are mastering this. You already know the answer, Pat. He's baiting you, baby. He's baiting you.
100%. And, I think that one of the important things is understanding how different people buy. Because I want to go back to something that you said, and then I will 100% talk to Patrick, because Patrick, that's an amazing point. But I think that one of the things that's really important to know is that different generations of people buy differently. And, I'm sure everyone has their own opinions as to what, different generations are like and things like that. But from millennials and most of the Gen Xers as well, and the Gen Zers who are coming up and now in the market and have a massive amount of buying power. The Gen Z buying power is going to blow every store owner out of the water. It is insane. We have never before had young people have so much money, and we have to understand how they buy. And a big part of this is the why of the brand. So are you supporting, what Patrick was referring to as major ecosystems? And are those major ecosystems, are they doing things like supporting humanitarian causes? Are they supporting the environment? Are they doing things that harm our world and harm our kids and harm our future? Those are things that are really important. And larger brands really have to push for the focal point to be those causes. So one of the ones that you'll see is, the juggernaut Amazon is really pushing to be carbon neutral in a very set amount of time. And because of that, it keeps them in business, because what they identified is that there are people, yes, they love the convenience. Yes, they love the products. Yes, it is a fundamental way of how we buy now. They've done a really good job cementing themselves as a social norm within our culture. But on top of that, even Amazon can't ignore the push from the public to take care of certain causes. And so that goes into the why and how we live that why. And when we're looking at store owners who are smaller than the juggernauts, it matters even more, because what you do is seen, and it's seen on a grander scale. So you want to make sure that your content isn't just about how amazing your products are. And while we love that, we also want to know how they make people feel. How does the experience talking to your salespeople feel? Do people feel like they're pushed, or do people feel like they're understood? What are the causes that you're supporting outside of the business? Do you have any content that, is giving back at all, or that is involved in the community? Those are all things that really matter. And it gives you a different emotional connection and emotional through line to your customers. So it's absolutely vital.
Yeah. And it's super important to understand the different levers. And sometimes they're 180 degrees opposed.
Mhm.
So there could be, I'm going to make this really overly simplistic. You could be in a really, really liberal state. And if you are, I hope you hold those views, because if you start to advertise very conservative views, you probably are going to be in trouble.
Mhm.
The opposite is true. If you live in a very conservative place and you start espousing liberal views, you're dead. Your business is dead. Just understand what you're choosing. You might be in a mixed state like I am in Ohio. You could you could die on the sword, but you might find some unbelievably hungry customers that are like, really? You're a Christian too? I'm a Christian. You're a Christian. I've been looking for a Christian store to do business with. That's a thing today. It's a
Mhm.
bigger thing than it's ever been, but be careful with what you choose, what social causes that you pick, because it could be the death of your business, could be the saving grace of your business. People now have different viewpoints more than ever before. Don't be afraid to ruffle a few feathers if you're going to get some mileage out of the other side of it, which could be radical loyalty. So I usually say just be who you are, and hopefully that will attract the right people to you. But you need to be aware of where your store is. You really need to be aware of that. I would hate for somebody to watch this show and then I hear a horror story about them picking the wrong causes and it backfiring on them. I say this: be you. Be you in your sales, be you in your marketing, and your audience will normally find you. Just be smart about it. That's the only thing I would say about that. But it's really important to understand that customers care about your why big time, more than ever. It used to just be, I offer these products, they have these outcomes, and that was good enough. It's not good enough anymore. People really want to know who you are. That's why using video as a store owner can be so important. You don't have to be handsome. You don't have to be pretty if you're a lady. You don't have to have a great voice. You don't have to be all these things. As a matter of fact, you don't want to be slick, because people don't want to buy from slick. They want to buy from authentic. They want to buy from real. They want to buy from someone just like them. Try to remember that and use videos. Videos are really, really powerful because nobody can duplicate you. You are unique in all the universe, and you really need to embrace your uniqueness, and you need to get it out there. And the more you get it out there, the more you're going to attract your tribe. So I didn't tell you this part of the show. So with about 10 minutes left, I always say this to my guests. You should know this is coming. Was there a question that I should have asked you that I didn't? And everybody that's watching, you are allowed to ask questions because we are still live. It is what? 12 till 1. We are still live. Marnie Kirby. Marnie, how are you? Serenity Sleep Solutions in Michigan. Love that statement, Pete. I can guarantee that my business neighbor, competitor doesn't love my customers the way I love my customers. Thank you. Thank you, Marnie. We are soul brothers and sisters on that one, aren't we? It's just, I think, Marnie, that we just feel very blessed with our customers and we care more. And that's one of the things that I constantly say: shop your competition. And if nothing else, what you're going to find out is once in a while, you'll run across an absolute stud or studette. And if you're a store owner, your next goal should be to hire them when you find them, because they're a diamond. I mean, you got to go through a lot of coal to get to a diamond. You're not going to find very many. But what you're going to find a lot of rude salespeople that do this. Hi. Welcome to the store. Yeah, make yourself at home. That's what they do. Ask Scott Vaughn. Scott Vaughn will tell you. He shopped stores in almost every state in the country. And if nothing else, when you're done with your shopping, your competitors, you're going to feel really good about yourself. If you're a good human and you really care about your customers, and you know that you'll fight for your customers, you know that you'll do the right thing, guess what? That is the very first step in earning the sale. Just being a good human who cares about other humans. And let me tell you something. it becomes a superpower, because sometimes sales have to be fought for on a retail floor. Sometimes you have to take a chance. Sometimes you got to get out of your comfort zone. And sometimes you have to absolutely be doing it for the other person, not for yourself, because it's not enough motivation. When you start to sell for the other person's benefit because you truly care about them and you want the right thing for them, all kinds of superpowers things start to happen. Magical things start to happen, and you will close sales that you can't even begin to imagine. And you're going to go, Pete, that was the damnedest thing. You were right about that. Anyway, I'm doing all the talking. You're down to 9 minutes, baby.
So I'm going to take it up a notch, because I think the question that I would love to answer is, how do I build a solid customer journey? And so I'm going to give you all the steps to it right now, because it's one of the most important things you will ever do in your business. So when you're looking at the customer journey, first, what I want you to do is I want you to section out all of the people you think you could serve, that you want to serve. If you don't want to serve someone, toss that, ideal client profile out the window. We don't want to talk to those people. Not because they don't deserve to be talked to, but
so you're creating multiple ideal customer profiles, ICPs.
Yes.
Okay.
So you want to get down to your primary one and no more than 2 others, right? 3 is your limit, but you're focusing on one at a time. So let's focus on your primary one. The first thing you want to do is that target market research. So if you're brand new, you're just opening your store, you need to have conversations, right? You need to figure out, and this is where you build that from, what it is that your customers believe before they ever step foot in the store. What do they believe to be true? What do they believe to be true about the products that you sell, about the industry in general? And do they have any beliefs about your store? Those are really important to know. So once you have that, and as far as for the store, go look at your Google reviews. Your Google reviews are so vital, because most buyers are looking at the Google reviews before they ever step foot into your store. They want to know what they can expect and how they're going to be treated. So go there and look. So once you understand what it is they believe before they step foot in the door, you need to know, what myths do they believe, right? What's not true? What do you have to break in that cycle? What are the beliefs that you need to build, right? What is the belief that you're going to replace? And then once you get there, now you have the opportunity to really understand what it is that they're looking for. So you need a piece in your sales process that identifies what it is that they're looking for, why they're looking for that, and what's important to them, right? And so you need to understand for your customer journey what's important for them to experience in a sales experience, in a retail environment, or in online shopping, because those are different environments. So build it out per buying environment. That's really important. And then understand what goes all through the sales process. So the discovery, right? The objection handling, and making sure that your people know what objections are going to come up. And they usually have an order to them, which is really interesting. You can identify those patterns really easy so that you can customize your marketing. You can customize your sales experience to answer them before they fully pop in the customer's head, and they will feel like you are reading their mind. And it is so important and so impactful, because when you can answer someone's question before they have to answer it, they know that you understand them. And that builds trust really fast. And then they don't want to buy from anybody else. So that is really, really important. And then a lot of people skip this step. Once you understand the journey through the sales process and you have that buying experience, what happens next? Because the customer journey is not done. right? You have delivery, and on top of delivery, you have review. How do they feel a month after getting, whatever it is that they bought from you? How do they feel about their experience? Did you get a review? Did you get a testimonial? Did you get referrals? And so having a process that goes through that, and then making sure that you reach back out periodically for other things that they might want, right? Because someone who buys furniture is going to buy furniture again. You don't know when they're going to move. You don't know when, they're going to have a child, or, if they're going to have parents move in with them. There are all different stages of life. So it's an ongoing relationship, and you want to make sure that you keep that intact. And it is best to do that by mapping it out structurally in the customer journey. When you do that, you have less people fall through the cracks, you strengthen your relationships, and you make sure that you're intentionally crafting the entire experience for your people, which is how you show them that you do love them, you do care about them, and that you are compassionate to their problems while also being the right person to solve those problems.
Wow. Well, that was a masterclass in 9 minutes.
I tried to keep it under time.
It's like a $1,000 course in 9 minutes. It's unbelievable. Yes, Patrick Tinney, you are 1,000% right. Follow up is the beginning of the next sale. One of the best things I ever got, it was from Retail Selling by John F. Lawn. If that book is still in print, you guys should grab it. Great sales pros. What they'll always ask, they've done the sale, all the paperwork's completed, they're saying goodbye, they've already told the customer how to take care of the furniture, how to take care of the mattress, they've managed the expectations, and then they say something along the lines like this: I like to keep my eyes open for my customers. Do you know what you might be needing for your home next? It doesn't matter if it's in 5 years. I can keep my eyes open. I can make a little note, and I'll just keep my eyes open. And then when they say, well, a sofa, oh, would that be in a room with a TV or without a TV? Without a TV. So it's a formal living room. And you start selling again. You start selling again. And at some point they'll say, we got to go. Thank you. And you make the note, and you do the follow-up, but now you have some information. So Patrick, thank you so much for that. I can't believe our hour's over, honey.
It went by so fast.
I know. It always does. It goes by so fast. We had a blast, guys. Marnie, Patrick, Nicholas, and Andrew, thank you so much for your comments. Was there anybody that we missed, Chris? But Marnie, Nicholas, Patrick, and Andrew, thank you for your comments. Anybody that's watching the show and you go, hey, that Raven girl, she's smart. Like, she's way smarter than Pete will ever be. If you want to get a hold of her, there you go. Go to signifexhq.com. And the other thing you can do is you can email her, raven@signifexhq.com. Do that. And honey, thank you for giving us an hour of your life when you are so busy. I can't believe that you made time for me like this. So thank you. I had a blast.
It's my pleasure, Dad. Thank you for having me. I love you, and I love your people. And I'm so glad that I could just come and contribute. So thanks for having me.
Well, I love you, and I love my people too. And Patrick Tinney says, great show, Raven and Pete. Thank you, Patrick. Let's get together soon, buddy. Let's get you on the schedule as soon as that book is out. Patrick is such an amazing talent in sales and negotiation, and in writing books. I mean, He is amazing. And Chris Stone, you are amazing, my friend. Anybody that needs a podcast, you should actually just call Chris Stone. I don't even know. Chris, how do they get a hold of you? Do they just go and book a calendar date for Chris? Put a banner up there for yourself. And my producer, Chris Stone, castahead.net. He is the most overqualified podcast producer in the history of podcasts, a former Sony executive producer, just so much talent. And the best thing that I love about Chris is he cares. He cares so much. He is such a little perfectionist. I love him. And RJ, I didn't know you were here. RJ. All right, everybody together, we have to sing to Fawad. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear. It's Fawad, right? Yeah.
Happy birthday to you and many more. Don't be a bore. RJ says that was a great show. Thank you both. And the minute I saw RJ's name, I realized that I forgot Fawad's birthday. Can't believe it. I love Fawad. Fawad, you are a great human being and you are a great business person. And I am so happy that we do business together. And I'm so happy to call you friend. So Andrew Burt says, I just sent you a LinkedIn request, Raven.
Awesome. I'll make sure to go approve it, Andrew. So great to meet you.
Have a great day, baby. Bye,
You too,
everybody.
Daddy.
Have fun and sell 1 million.